I had to start a little early so we could see the babies. And their mama. I'm just going to go for a walk. The babies and their mamas. Good morning, Teresa. Coming back out. A little nervous about Lily. That's why the mother's or the father's head's going up and down. Good morning. You beautiful creatures. Need I say anything else? There they go. Mom and dad and their kids. Good morning. I had to walk Lily today in the park, even though it's 43 degrees, although it doesn't feel cold at all. Could be the new gloves I have and the new hat. This is, for many traditions, this is Good Friday. When I was a little girl growing up, I had an amazing minister. And that minister's name was Papa Kent. And Papa Kent was what we call a mystical priest. He saw the wisdom in the Bible, and he really did follow the word of Jesus in the sense that Jesus' life portrayed a man who felt deeply about himself as carrying the word of a higher power. He was a mystic, Jesus was. What he got made into is up for grabs. But this day, this particular day of creation that we're in right now, this particular day of creation we're in right now is the day that he was on the cross, according to the story, not according to the date. So I would always go on Black Friday. I loved seeing the church draped in black, and because when I was a child I was miserable. My mom didn't think much of me and was the first one to tell me. It's interesting the things that come to us in our lives and how we get to deal with them becomes part of our existence. But with Papa Kent, I got to understand that human beings are afraid of human beings because they'd forgotten who they are. I'll whirl this around here because I got people coming. And that the activity of creation is really beyond that, beyond fear, beyond separation, beyond even loneliness. So my life as a child with Papa Kent from the age of 5 was about not being lonely. But I always thought of Jesus on Good Friday. You could say that I let myself be lonely on Good Friday. And how lonely he must have been. A man who came to tell us Mother Goose, who owns the island. But I always thought about how lonely he must have been that day. And all he'd asked is that we love our neighbors as ourself, to turn the other cheek, to not be offended, that basically everybody was working something through. There was no sense in being offended by it. The people that are mean to us when we're mean to ourselves, there's no sense in being upset when the very thing we're made of, the very creation we're part of, is whole, fulfilled, satisfied, beautiful, operates in symmetry, harmony, and balance. So I had this amazing contrast in my life early on. I had this minister who talked about the essence of the human soul, and that we could either pay attention to what was missing, or we could just seek to touch what was there. What was still real. Oh, got you. Thank you. Good idea. Go ahead. I'll wait. She's passive.
He's locked?
Yeah, she's passive. She's locked. Yeah, eager. It's a dog. Franklin. I don't even know what the video's doing today. I apologize. I am busy in my own thoughts today, and just wanted to put it on a setting that let me talk with some interruptions, obviously. Franklin being one of them. Is your dog locked? But the point is that this is a very special day for me. It's a day where I get to appreciate someone who gave his life for an ideal that he held to be real. And here we are. We got a massive virus. It's busy moving through our bodies, just like the ants in Costa Rica that once every now and then roared through across the land. Sorry, I got my headset caught in the thing. But that's always going to happen. The fire ants are always going to, thousands of them in Costa Rica, they come in. You have to watch for them because they sting. And they literally cover the whole floor in beds and drawers and everything. And then they go on. And you don't see them. And you don't have to worry about it because you can hear them coming. Because they make this loud sound pounding on the ground, thousands of them at a time. But they're part of the order, the ordering of creation. part of the love affair even with creation. But our modern lives have moved so far away from life and death that we don't know life and we don't know death. Both of which are the natural order of things. Just like these ducks. Yeah. I'm going to come up to the seat and sit down now. Lily has done what Lily does. See if I can't get some stabilization on this video. I apologize. I couldn't sleep last night, and my alarm woke me up at the half an hour before now, and I'm still learning to use this gizmo, literally. Let me sit here a minute. Yeah. Just sit here a minute. Let me adjust the camera a bit so that you can see out beyond. So that's what I wanted to celebrate with you all today. I wanted to celebrate that day that death is honored. That the greatest ideals of humanity, the deepest heart of humanity, it's willing to give its life for others, like the people who are tending to us in the hospitals and the grocery store clerks. What a perfect day to celebrate life. And to celebrate death. I don't talk about Jesus much in the work I do because it becomes something you believe in or something it becomes a religion, not the person. But what if we were honoring him as a person? What if we were honoring him as a way of being? As a meta state, a state of humanity and going beyond that into the nature of being. What if he was an alchemist? God help me, anybody that gets on this call that we've been taught that that's something bad, where alchemy is the very nature of our life. When we digest food, that's alchemy. I had, what was it I had the other day? Oh, I had paprika baked French fries. And they made me really groggy. That's alchemy. So today, I would like to honor the story, because this isn't the day he actually died. And there were probably others like him that died also. But I would like to honor the story of a man who had a conversation just like each of us does, and willing to stake his life on it. Don't you see the amazing contrast of that? He was willing to stake his life on human goodness. He gave us the alchemy of the original nature, of the original design of human being, part of it, his gig. To love everyone as if you love yourself. And in the loving of everyone, we get the one soul human. The self is indivisible. And it's been so chopped up into method. When you see something in others, you're really reflecting on part of yourself. But the self is everything. It's the all. It's the oneness. So I was thinking this morning that I would honor his life. I would bring us to this place that's beautiful. But then I would ask your imagination to throw dark veils over all of it, which is human fear, hate, judgment. It's a human condition, not the nature of a human being. And that we throw the veil of those things over this beautiful world we were born into. And we remember that underneath those veils is beauty. What did he mean when he said turn the other cheek? What if our whole life is about not buying it? The hatred, the separation, even when people are mean to us. I always have Daniel in the Lion's Den as my model. Magdalena giving Jesus water. These identities that have formed based in fear and judgment, and they're not us. They're those dark veils. So I really am invoking the spirit of Jesus today. Jesus. I'll let the theologians argue over the anointed one and the Christ consciousness. But today I'd like to celebrate a man and a woman, two women, his mother and Mary Magdalene, and what they must have all gone through, the disciples, to try to remember. And whether we like it or not, our consciousness, the fact that we can even not be completely trapped, that we struggle with all our life to rid ourselves of that which does not love the neighbor as self, or the self as neighbor, or the self as husband, or the self as son, daughter, wife. But we really struggle to unpack it, to get to skinny out of it. That's what we should celebrate today. And the fact there's a story about a man. There are other stories, but this is the one I was raised with. who was willing to never change his own relationship with his own truth and to not make anybody else wrong for his truth, as if it was the truth. Got that dog coming. I've got to make sure Lily's leash is locked so we don't have a fiasco here. That's what I'd like to celebrate with you today. At the pond. Deer Creek Pond, to be exact. And then the other thing I wanted to bring to this small, quiet conversation, a sacred space for rest and courage, is just that. Let's just take a minute to be in a sacred space, to rest, to find courage inside ourselves every day. Like a practice. It's all right, I've got her hooked. The grace of creation is with us every day. So I thought today I would evoke our humanity. A humanity that many, many avatars have come to give their life to. And a whole movement started over Jesus, even though it was turned into politics and turned into world power and turned into judgment and turned into a lot of things going on in our country that don't really look like the original word of Jesus. But isn't it amazing that a very simple man, a carpenter, of which we have very few actual quotes from him, could create such an impression on a humanity that had lost its way because something had happened here it was having trouble recovering from. But we are recovering, that's the point. That's the point. We can either concentrate on all the conspiracy theories that may even be right. I don't even think about it because it doesn't matter. Conspiracies have come and gone. Ruthless rulers have come and gone. Manipulation of money has come and gone. It won't win. It won't hold. What if we could just have simple lives that appreciated every moment of our existence and let the stories that we choose to be part of be ours? See, it never even phases me something's right or wrong, because if a humanity gathers enough evidence for something, they make it right. They make it real. So it isn't that I think these things aren't going on. It's just not my story. I don't mean my story about out there. It's not my story about life, about the value of life, about what my world's like in my little sector of creation. Even if I'm just in my room, even if I can't leave my RV. Good morning, garbage guy. My life sits right here in me. It doesn't sit anywhere else. It sits right here in me. And if you take all that, the conspiracy theories and what we think the government's doing or not doing for us, or what we fear will happen to us, and we take all that and we leave it outside our door, and we just open the door to us, our inner world. And we find a place to rest inside of us. Create territory of rest within us. Create territory of courage within us, and close the door and build our kingdom within us. You'll see it works like magic. Then what people say and what people do and the news you read and the fight for what's real when it's all real. It's just what story you choose. Then they sort of fade like the background noise of the geese. Or a little blackbird that's come to sit in front of me. And does it take a muscle to do that? Yes, of course it does. But it's better than looking to the outside world for our safety. It's better than looking to the outside world as a place to rest. It's pretty decent right now to look to the outside world for courage. But doesn't it remind us of the most beautiful part of ourselves? So, what I think he would have liked if today was his day, which it isn't actually the right day, but I think what he would have liked is for us to forgive them that know not what they do, and leave them alone to finish whatever story they're finishing. And be aware that you choose every story you say as the truth. You've chosen it as the truth. It isn't inherently true. I really know this because my life operates so differently than so many people's lives. And it really did all start with my interest in my own inner world and what I held to be real within me. I have this imprint, which is true right now too, because I'm sitting on a metal bench and it's cold. My butt's cold. But that 5-year little girl, the first day that Papa Kent had a conversation with her, she was sitting in her crinoline dress that she hated, that her mother had insisted she wear. But she didn't even care how cold her butt was, because she was getting to hear about Jesus. Keep it simple, Charlie. Keep it simple, Charlie. Basic themes. Sorry, I'm about to hook the camera again. Got a leash that I'm trying to manipulate. Okay. All right, well, we're going to finish our walk. So if you all want to keep walking with me while I get around the pond, that's lovely. It's so fascinating to do these things because I can hear you. I guess it's just part of the activity of being a seer or psychic, is that, even though you're listening to me ramble on which I promised Jackie I would do every Friday, even though you're listening to me ramble on. What's so beautiful for me is that I can hear your heart. I can hear the part of you that comes to this conversation, and I can smile because I know we're all in it together. And then this page, this sacred space for resting courage, it really is about creating here a sacred space for resting courage. The group page is about that, the different things that were sent to me by beings that care deeply for this little species that's hardly in its first year of growth in eternal time. Something that is, we're held to be so precious. Look at the avatars that come down and tell us who we are, and look at the religions that have formed to tell us what we are, and the stories of angels. And I mean, we really are held dearly. Good morning. Happy Friday to you too, sir. I'm navigating my way through goose leavings. So what do you say? 1 minute? 1 minute. There's a reason I named this space a sacred space for resting courage. Do you know that humanity has become high on fear, like a drug, high on anxiety, because it makes us feel alive. We're not so high on quiet that touches the actual source of our existence, or peace, or solitude. And it's so amazing that in being forced into it as a world, that deep depth of what we really are has become activated again. We won't forget. We won't forget. And in some of us it'll hold, even after we're busy again. But a long time ago, I put this Facebook page in Facebook, not because I wanted to have more clients, God, or I wanted to promote my beliefs, but because I build matrices within which new futures can rise, and those of you who have participated with me and still do have a living experience of that. So for me to embed into Facebook this statement, a sacred space for resting courage, and address a territory that I did a long time ago, maybe 6 years ago, was simply to give sacred space for resting courage a place to dwell in the web of electromagnetic current that exists in internet and cell phones. It's really amazing to me. It's so simple now, really. If every day you didn't think you were talking to human beings or saying your opinion for human beings, but you realize that the internet's a living web of energy that goes out into the cosmos, surrounds our planet, has no idea that the currents moving through it are human, because other currents move through it too, and we just became our current. So that's what we're doing here today. We're being our current. We're being a current of safe, sacred rest, courage, Shouldn't have taken my hat off. It's warm. Whoops, sorry, that was my dog. Put my hat back on. I'm going to walk over here a minute because the point is not to get chilled. I'm just going to sit the phone down a minute so I can get my hat back on. He created a fence so that the mother geese could be on the island without human disturbance and lay the eggs of their babies. So I'll hold on a second. So I love life. I was saying to one of my clients yesterday, I've had the good fortune to be with people who every day exhibit acts of courage, just basically even staying alive or finding value in life in the midst of pain, emotional, mental, spiritual pain, still finding that ray of sunshine. We are a courageous breed. Someday we won't use trauma to be courageous in the face of. We'll love our courage because we're a growing species of consciousness. It has the ability to embody not only the cosmos, but the elements, the fire, wind, earth, water in our bodies. We're really amazing creatures. The fact that we become societal dominant is not really worthy of ourselves. To become inner dominant, to feel the God within us, the generating, organizing design of creation within us, to not be our behavior, although that's good too, but it doesn't start there. It starts with that spark within each of us that nothing can ever take away and that we're all part of. So I'm probably a little rambly today because I go into these days of really, really deep meditation and states of access to states of existence that are forming and coming into this planet, have been for a few years now. The restoration of matrices, multidimensional matrices that do restore paradise here. I'm just as one of its gardeners, as the soil of it enriches, it gets all its nutrients. As the human consciousness begins to change, because now these matrices, these dimensions that we were once separated from, are restoring themselves, and we're beginning to have direct experiences of things we once at best could only believe in or occasionally had peak experiences of. So I don't even know if my conversation is of any value today, because I'm deep in the thinking yesterday. I often have other people speak for a project I'm in or something I'm doing, because I'm just always busy. I'm always busy with creation. I'm always operating in these sort of projects of bringing these matrices online by tuning humans to their original memory of their original design, and just giving tune-ups and just getting things operational again and getting registers back in the human system. And today and last night I started into these depths of consciousness that doesn't make me do logical sequencing very well. It's mostly I feel like our particle fields are part of a great universe, and that our particle natures, our atomic natures, are changing rapidly. And I'm aware it really disrupts human perception, and I'm aware there's a whole good morning, and I'm aware there's a whole it's a configuration of perception that humans are incarcerated in, but it won't matter. It won't matter because we're systemically, the human particle nature and molecule nature and atomic nature is shifting and changing. My interest is that we're the meta point of that we meet it at the gate, that we make ourselves available for it. And the greatest horror for me of humanity is that the personal I of a human being has been made responsible for everything that happens, including to themselves, and that's not the case at all. We've all been in a cave-in. We've all been in a collapsed field. And our own consciousness, as it awakens, as we hold true, and we could just get off our case and realize that we are partnering with creation. We are doing the best with what we got. And when we're able, we can do more. But to make ourselves wrong for our courage, to be here under unbelievable circumstances, to not let ourselves rest in the majesty and beauty of our own grace, our own courage, our own vulnerability, our own loving no matter what under sometimes atrocious conditions. That hurts. That condition is still prevalent in human beings. It's like a fever, like a virus. Just like you can get a virus in your internet and a virus in your body. It's a virus in our mind. So I'm not here to teach or give you pointers on how to make your personality be. I'm here to be part of another world, another reality of creation that gives us access to life in a way that is emerging within us. Oh my goodness, Terry, Judy, wow, Phyllis, wow. All the threads, I'm gonna cry. Nothing's more beautiful to me than all of us that so long ago were together and did not know our ass from a hole in the ground. But like all of us on this call and all of us that just for 1 minute can realize our courage to be, now we cannot look to the outside world for answers because our society is collapsing. That's of course this crazy psychic predicted 45 years ago. But aren't you glad that you got to here? Because all that work you did, everything that you were about, all of you, all of it led to this moment in our unity with creation, even in whatever frail ways we could, unconscious, unintelligent maybe, I don't know, but I love human beings. I never felt like I was one, but now I want to be one because I've lived 74 years this year and seen the majesty of human life and its ability to find its courage. I just like us to concentrate on it more. Not as a solution to a problem, but as maturing a territory, a state of being. Rest, silence, solitude, a territory, a way of being. So, hi. You know, David Hawkins says it only takes a small amount of human beings that operate free from separation, to change the entire palette of this world. I think that's a great gamble. I have no idea how this film today. I just don't want to be polished. I'd like to be clumsy and cumbersome and not quite know how to put into words what I'm trying to talk about. Hang out with you. And one of the reasons I haven't gotten off the Facebook Live is there's a huge amount of energy moving in this call. Shakti. Huge amount of energy filling this call and filling our consciousness and operating way beyond my words. It's why my words feel so odd coming out of my mouth, because what I'm present to is the vibrational field of creation that we're pulsing in right now. Getting the geese quite excited about. You know, if I were going to leave you with one thought for the day, is to do what the primordial mother has asked of us. Rest. Relax. Step out of the fray. Take time out. Primordial Mother has given humanity a time out. And let yourself reboot. This has been predicted in my lifetime. 45 years I've known about this time. Don't have a tomorrow, only have a today. Just have this minute. I don't want to leave you today. It's amazing sometimes to me who humanity has become. I don't know if you can feel the energy of our shared field of being together today, but it's exquisite. Given I don't like to hang out with human beings that much, it's really saying something. There's something in the quality of the call today, you on this call, that is emitting a vibrational sequencing that goes beyond human thought, that beyond things we presently understand, that words don't have any space for. One last look at the pond, and we'll go. The pond. Deer Creek. I'm very fortunate. We seem to have a visitor curious about us. Mother Goose's Island. Guess we're going to have to meet this little creature here that seems to be interested in us. Emissary from Geese World. I don't want to go. Strange, isn't it? This is what's happening to humanity. Being with each other is becoming precious again. Yes, I guess we are being addressed. Yeah. Guess we'll leave leave this beautiful animal, this being with us today, to reach beyond our human mind, to be in a sacred space. To be one with creation. I really honestly don't know what to do now, because this is an event. Till he moves off, I really don't want to go anywhere. So will say adieu for those of you that would like to go. And I think I'll just sit here with this being. Everybody else is gone. Let's take a minute to close this call together. So how we do that is we imprint ourselves with the vibrational field of consciousness that lays beyond human thought and human action and human physical condition. And we just be together. We just be together. And then we feel ourselves together. We feel ourselves together until we feel we've filled the field, we've nourished it, the way of the mother. We've collectively nurtured it. And maybe even together, all of us together have given birth to an ether of existence. It's part of human magic. There. We can feel it. And that we take each other and carry each other in each other's heart today. And in that we carry all of humanity. Sometimes when these energies come, they're because we're so big, we're so huge, and we're capable of, in the etheric territories, carrying so much that's not burdensome. It's the joy of love and the joy of connection and the joy of being part of the primordial mother, the joy of being part of the cosmos. So we came to a meditation today. We came to being present to our beingness. And somehow I'm going to figure out how to finish this recording and have it not disturb this etheric energy that is built today among us. So imagine you're reaching out. It could be light for you, it's particles for me, in front of you, and you're taking in your hand a piece of magic today. Magic from human connection. Magic from being one with creation. And then put it in your pocket or in your heart, but carry it with you today. I may have us start carrying crystals on the call. You see, there's so much magic going on now that's undefined. All that's ever been talked about is the surface world of human being, not moments like this that are etheric in nature, or the energy of creation itself. the energy that we're actually part of. Very good. We just needed to diffuse it, to each of us take a piece of it, because it wants to stay here. It wants to be in our playing field. We're going to be using, oh my God, hold on, we have a magical thing, no wonder. See if I can do this. Hold on, I'm getting there. Look who came to be with us. Look who came to be with us. They're right beside us. I'm turning my body as carefully as I can. Look at that. Life is safe with us. They are 4 feet away, 5 feet away from me. What an amazing moment. Ah. Yeah, she's a very prolific mother. Or maybe they're sharing them. There they are. What a great moment to give our life to. To give our time. To thank them for being here with us. Yay. Hi, Mom. It's interesting if you see the beginning of the video. She was at the beginning of the video with her kids, and Mom and Dad, and if you can see beyond them, there's another flock, another bunch there. We seem to have all the geese in the area with us right now. We seem to have all the geese, except for the one sitting in the water, and another one, two others in the water. We seem to have the mother with us today. No wonder I couldn't get off the phone. No wonder I couldn't get off the phone. See if I can move the camera up and there. See, that's such is the way of creation. It was undisturbed. We're getting a complete, we are about to be surrounded by ducks. And my dog is sitting quite still. I guess in all things there is a pause. In all things there is a pause. And we found ours today. Have a precious day with yourself. And remember that yourself is part of all existence. And may you have a miracle. And may you be able to recognize it. And may your fears not be the only thing you want to solve, but that you take time for the blessings of life itself. And our guardian we will say goodbye to, and our families of nature. And can you feel it now? Can you feel that the energy is diffused and is now part of the living field of creation? It's a good register to have. I recommend it. I recommend it. Namaste.